Hey guys, so this is the last day that I'm going to be gone, and we're going to wrap up our cattle grading with a test slash contest. So I mentioned at the very end of the week we were going to have a cattle grading contest to see who could do the best on it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. This also serves as your test, though, to see how much you've learned. So you're going to get on Google Classroom here in just a minute. You're going to evaluate 15 cattle. 10 of them are going to be feeder cattle, and then 5 of them are going to be slaughter cows. And so I just want to do a really quick run through to make sure that you remember this stuff, just summarizing this week in about 5 minutes here. So first of all, remember when the animal runs through, or you see a picture in this case, you're going to evaluate them as either a steer, a heifer, or a cow. And remember, I will give you the weight, just like they do at a contest, if it's a cow. Now, we're going to focus on the feeder steers and heifers first, okay? So there's 3 things that you're going to select. First of all, you're going to select if it's a steer heifer. That's 10 points, right? Next, we're going to do frame size, large, medium, or small. And remember, this is predicting how big is that animal going to be when they're full grown and it's time to process, not how they are today. So remember some areas that we're going to look at. We're going to look at how big their bone structure is. Are they walking around on pencil legs? Or are they walking around on tree trunks? We're going to see how long that back leg is. Remember, from the hock or the knee down is that area called the cannon bone. And if they have a really long cannon bone, that would be a sign that they're going to grow a lot. We're also going to look at their muscle size because remember, this is all based on weight, and muscle weighs a lot. So if we have a very heavy muscled animal, that's probably an indicator of a large frame animal. And then finally, we're going to look at their age, okay? And remember, we look at their face as well as their tail switch. And if they're younger, it means that even if they're small, they might have a lot of growth left in them. Whereas if they look a little older, if their tail switch is a little longer, they have more, lines and definitions in their face, then, they're probably not going to grow that much more. So we would call them a large, medium, or small. Then we do muscle. And remember, the muscle scores, the 1 is the best. That is a round-shaped rear. 2 is flat or square. And then 3 is concave. It comes in. It's triangular. And then we never pick 4. So that's feeder cattle. We mark if it's a steer or heifer. We do its frame score. We do its muscling. Very simple, but be slow and think it through as you click, because each one of those is worth 10 points. Now, slotting over here to the slaughter cattle side. Remember, we're not looking at potential. We're looking at how they are right now. So we're going to bubble in that it's a slaughter cow. And then remember, there's 3 classes, a breaker, a boner, and a lean, okay? Boner cattle are average size. Lean cattle are skinny. And then breaker cattle are pretty fat. And remember, we look down, normally at the bottom of our page here, but for this test, I'll actually have it for you online. But remember, there's 3 steps. You can see step 1, we're going to guess how much fat she has by looking at her hips, her ribs, her tail head, her back, and to see if she has any brisket fat. Remember, 0.25 right here, that's average. Anything less than that is skinny. Anything more than that is fat. And then from there, you will need a scratch sheet of paper today, so get that out if you've not. Then you're going to write down the number that's beside it. Then we go over here to the weight adjustment. And remember, the weight adjustment is simple because I give it to you. So you make an adjustment based on the weight that I give you. And then finally, we go over here to the muscle. Remember, we don't hold them to the same standard that we do feeder cattle because they're a little older. And after we do all 3 of those steps, we go back right here and we see what number it falls under, okay? Most cattle are going to be in this D, E, or F area, okay? Boner, the first category of lean, and the first category of breaker. Then from there, we do dressing percent. We covered dressing percent yesterday. Remember, this is the percent of that animal's weight that actually will be useful after we process it. And so we once again have a chart, and I'll put this chart on your test. And remember, breaker cattle, the fatter an animal is, the more they're going to be. So breaker cattle are higher, 51 to 54. Boner cattle, 48 to 51. And lean cattle are 39 to 48. And remember some things we look at. If they're fat, big boned, or heavy muscled, that helps their dressing percent. If they have a bunch of things that we don't want, especially fill in their belly, we're not going to eat that. And so that's going to hurt their dressing percent. You have all hour to do these 15 head of cattle. Go through them, be thoroughly, do your math. And when I'm back tomorrow, or probably the next day, whenever I come, I'll be back tomorrow, but in the upcoming days, whoever has the highest score in each class, there's going to be a prize for you. So anyway, hope you guys are great for the summer this last week. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day.